Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Casually Content and I am Lorene. Today I'm gonna tell you how to get a job in China with or without a degree. So before I go any further, I need to tell you that working in China without a degree is illegal. You are allowed to come to China without a degree. You can tour, you can study, you can do whatever, but you're not allowed to work on any other visa than a working visa. And for you to get a working visa, you need a degree. That's why. So with that said, here's your three options when working in China. So number one is the easiest. It's working at a training center. Number two is a primary school or a high school. And then number three is a university. And there's also part-time work, which is just tutoring and personal. So you'll meet up in a coffee shop and tutor. There's a lot of money in that, but like I said, that's also illegal, and I think that's the hardest way to come over because your accommodation isn't covered. You need to do everything on your own. You won't come here and already have work. You need to actually go out, meet people, tell them what you're doing, and you can get caught really quickly with that. You're gonna have problem with your visa and everything. But like I said, that's also an option. But yeah, so here are all three ways and what do you need to get a job at a training center, a school, a high school, university, and all the ins and outs about it. Okay guys, so number one is the training centers. These are usually for kids, but you do get some that teaches adults, but usually they are for kids. This is the quickest and easiest way to teach in China. All you need is a TOEFL and basic English. That's all you need. They want foreign teachers because they don't want their kids, well, the school need the money, and the parents don't want their kids to speak Chinglish, which is Chinese English, and that's actually a thing. So if you can speak basic English and you have a TOEFL or you're doing a TOEFL, this will be the easiest way to come over. But I need to mention, if you don't have a degree, this is still illegal. I have to say there's a lot of I want to say us South Africans, but I know there's still people from other countries that don't have degrees and they still teach at training centers. A lot of people do this and they do this on a student visa, but my next video will explain all about that. But for now, this is training centers. That's all you need, and it's really quickly. There's I don't even know how many training centers in our little town. We have the smallest little town, and there's so many training centers because the kids are the future and all the parents want their kids to speak English. So yeah, we actually drove around a bit to take some pictures of some training centers that's just nearby, and there's even more. So take a look. So number two, high schools and primary schools. These are a little bit harder to get into just because you have some interviews, you need a degree and a TOEFL, and you need to be a native speaker. And I know South Africa isn't considered a native speaking country anymore, but if your first language is English, then basically, well, technically, you are still a native speaker and they will accept that. So all I want to say about this is you need a degree and TOEFL, native English speaker, and some experience, and they will have a few interviews with you before you come over just to make sure that you are English. And I don't want to be racist or anything, and they are really racist. Like, Chinese people are so racist. So they want to kind of see if your English is good enough. But I know of some schools or some people that work at primary schools without a degree, but they have experience. So if you have experience, it's equivalent to a degree, and you might get a job at a high school or primary school. So don't lose hope, and yeah, look out for this because it's a really good position because you get all paid holidays and all of that. But if you want to see some pictures, I only have 2 schools because it's a small town. But here's some pictures with what it would look like. And now, last but not least, a university. So for this, you need a degree, you need a TEFL, you need to be a native speaker, and you need experience. And the reason why is because you're going to teach university students. Their English is not great, uh, but I mean, they only focus on reading and writing, so grammar is important and all of that. But if you have the experience, you are set for this position. You also get winter holidays, summer holidays, and weekends, well, most weekends off, which is also great. The pay is, I think, the most of all your options. Being a university teacher, well, professor, you will get more than anyone else in China. So yeah, and especially if you're teaching in Beijing or Shanghai or all the huge places, you will have an amazing paycheck. But anyway, I'm not a professor, but I just want to say that this is the position you would want. But if not, I just want to mention there are a lot of universities and schools and everything. There's so much work in China. So yeah, like, don't give up. And here's some pictures of the 2 universities in our town. We only have 2, but it's so huge, and they have a lot of foreigners as English teachers. And yeah, so here's some pictures, and right after that, let's jump into the 6 steps of getting a job in China. Hey guys, here's the 6 steps of getting a job in China. Number 1, download WeChat, because this is the way to communicate with Chinese people. I will tell you why soon enough, but for now, just listen to me. Download WeChat. And this is the way to do the next step. Talk to people in China. Anyone you know that's in China, ask them for their WeChat ID and start talking. Because the thing is, it's better to talk to them, people who's here, who didn't get a scam, or like people who's happy with their agency or with their job or their school or whatever. And a lot of foreigners do know of more work. Like we recently had to find someone new for our school. You know, like, we all know someone in China, and before we came, we knew a few people in China. That's the thing, you need to talk to everyone and just find out if you know someone in China. That's the best way, just communicate, okay? So when you have done this and you're in contact with someone who can help you get a job, do your TEFL. In the meanwhile, if you don't know what a TEFL is, it stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. Yes, as a foreign language. This is basically just a certificate to show that you read a few pages of teaching and you had a test and you didn't fail. And yeah, it's basically just a certificate, but some schools really do want you to have this. I don't really think it's useful at all, but it might come in handy when you come here and you have a job, but you're not really happy and you want to move, and it's easier to say, okay, well, I don't have a degree, or I have this behind my name and I have a TEFL, and it just looks good, you know? So now, where am I now? Number 4, make an introduction video. So this is just a video of you sitting like this with a camera, or a phone or whatever you can use, and just saying, hello, my name is Loreen, I live in South Africa, Krugersdorp, I'm 19 years old, and I like swimming and jogging and nature, and just telling people about yourself. And all they want to know basically is, why do you want to come to China? And your name and your age, and just talk about yourself, because they want to listen at your accent or how good your English is or anything like that. That's all they want to know with this introduction video. They don't really care what you like, but you can mention you want to come to China to learn the language, or you want to come to China to experience the culture and the food and everything like that, or travel, or whatever you can think of. This is all they want in the introduction video. They might ask you to do an interview with them, which is also just, they're gonna ask you a question like, what will you do if a kid starts crying in your classroom? Or what do you do when someone can pronounce something correctly? Or what do you do when the kid doesn't listen to you? Or something like that. They'll just ask you basic questions, and yeah, like, you just answer it. Easy as that. So then update your CV. You need to put something on your CV with childcare experience. It doesn't really matter what it is, because they just want to know that you have been working with kids, or you have worked with kids in the past. I've been an au pair, I've babysat a few kids, and yeah, that's basically all I put on my CV. My boyfriend just said he did teach some kids guitar, and yeah, that was enough. So just put some childcare experience on your CV, and well, obviously do it as well. Don't just put it on your CV. I mean, you're not supposed to lie. But anyway, then number 6 is take your time. I really recommend you to not be in a hurry. Just take your time, look at all your options. Get a few agents, get a few schools. We had four schools. We had 4 schools that wanted us to come and work, but we went with the safest option, and we did a lot of research about the school. We asked them to send us photos of the school, photos of our apartment, everything, to make sure it's not a scam. And yeah, like, basically we just went with this because it was the safest option, and they replied us through Chinese holidays and everything, and we thought that was pretty great. So we went with the school, and we are so happy. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. I just want to mention that if you like this video and you have any questions, or this video helped you, I would love to hear more. Tell me something in the comments if you want to ask me questions or get the contacts or anything. And I have the TEFL course that we did, the 150-hour TFL course. It's everything online. I have the links below. You can go to Hyperly to get a discount, and then there's Global TFL, and you can just redeem your voucher there. So yeah, guys, that's me. Please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and yeah,